Hey, what's up guys? I'm Janai Jackson and welcome back to my book review series. Today I am super excited to be reviewing Consequences of Ideas by R.C. Sproul. And if you're new here to the channel and you like what you see, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below, as it definitely helps the channel a lot. Now without further ado, let's learn about the author real quick. Robert Charles Sproul was a prominent Reformed theologian, author, and a pastor. He served as the president of Legacy Ministries from its founding in 1987 until his retirement in 2012. He was a staunch defender of the holiness of God, and Sproul's teaching was typified by an unyielding insistence on biblical orthodoxy and meticulous attention to detail. Countless Christians have been impacted by his ministry, and that includes myself. Although he is now with the Lord, his legacy lives on in our hearts and minds and of those who are privileged to know him. One of his most popular books, The Holiness of God, was reviewed on this channel. To watch that video, there should be a link in the top right corner of this video and a link into it in the description box below. But now on to my review of this book by R.C. In his book, The Consequences of Ideas, R.C. Sproul discusses the various ways in which ideas have consequences in both our personal and public lives. In this post, we will explore three of the main points that Sproul makes in his book. First, Sproul argues that ideas have consequences because they are reflections of reality. Second, he asserts that our beliefs shape our actions. And thirdly, he contends that good ideas lead to good consequences, while bad ideas lead to bad consequences. R.C. also does an excellent job in laying out some of the most prominent ideologies and philosophies that has had a great impact on our world throughout history. From Socrates to Plato, from Descartes to Freud, Dr. Sproul uses enough layman's terms to be understandable. And R.C. has a clear, easy to understand writing style that effectively communicates deep truth and profound observations. This book is not a deep dive into all of the philosophical ideas, but rather just a brief overview. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, something to note right at the outset is that R.C. is a Christian, obviously, and a creationist at that. I have to say that because many of the low ratings of this book come from people who want to hear from evolutionists or an atheist from an atheist perspective, and that is not what you're going to find here. With his overview of the different philosophies, R.C. gives the Christian perspective and the Christian response to these philosophies. He is not seeking to take a neutral stance in presenting these philosophies. If anyone knows R.C., you know he isn't going to hold back on offering his own thoughts on his favorite subject, being philosophy. I didn't have a problem with that because, it's clear that his aim is not to do that. However, I know for the audience as a whole may have a problem with this because they may not know or be familiar with the fact that R.C. is not just an author, but also a philosopher and a theologian. One of the best aspects of this book, though, is the fact that R.C. labors greatly to express the significance of epistemology, which is the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. It is chiefly concerned with answering the question, how do we know what we know? This question has plagued the great philosophers of human history forever, and we are still wrestling with this question here today. This is a question that many of us try to avoid at all costs because it reveals just how much we do not know. And that is a problem that R.C. wants to solve by offering this book. However, in the same token, he wants to show the danger of how we ought to be careful with the ideas that we do come up with when exploring the science of epistemology. Some of the ideas that have been introduced centuries ago are still affecting us today, and that is saying a lot. Some for the good, but many for the bad. Ideas have consequences. That is the title of this book, and that is the message of R.C.'s book in whole. Now, on to my rating for R.C.'s book, The Consequences of Ideas. I would have to give this book a 6 out of 10. Look, it's a great book. It's a pretty good book. I actually enjoyed it a lot because previously I was not that familiar with the great philosophers of human history like Plato, Aquinas, David Hume, Immanuel Kant, just to name a few. He does a great job in tracking how one idea led to the next. This book falls into a weird spot though. It can be too complicated for beginners, but too simplistic for those with some philosophical background. So how you look at this book may be all based upon your ability to grasp and understand the content. This may be a slow read for some and a quick read for others. There's no shame or plaque given for you just being, because you're in one of these camps. But that's all I have, guys. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know what your rating on the consequences of ideas is. Put your thoughts down below in the comment section. And I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all in my next one. Peace.